Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your source for the finest 2A propaganda brought to you by TNVC.com. Today I want to tell you about another politicritter caught by the TSA trying to board a plane with a gun. A few weeks ago, we reported on an anti-gun extremist in California who got caught trying to sneak a gun on a plane, and he was let off without any charges, even though he violated federal and Calistani law. Now the TSA says they caught Representative Madison Cawthorn trying to board a plane with a staccato C2. And surprise, surprise, the North Carolina politician who has a 92% score from both the NRA and the GOA was charged, while the control freak from Californistan got away scot-free. But hold on, put your pitchforks down and don't light your torches just yet before we go all outrage Hulk. I should probably point out that TSA didn't actually handle the cases any differently, so far as I can tell. Cawthorn was cited by the Charlotte police for a misdemeanor possession of a dangerous weapon on city property, and Cawthorn was caught by TSA less than a year ago for the same thing, and that time he got to just leave his gun at the airport and pick it back up when he returned. But the big giant news this week is the AFT has finally published their official final rule on what they think the law says. That's right, 27 CFR parts 447, 478, and 479 are finally published in the Federal Register.
Thank you.
There's nothing remotely surprising here, except for F Troop's uncharacteristic restraint. A lot of people were expecting an aggressive crackdown on home-built firearms, but this new rule falls well short of any of the Chicken Little claims we've been hearing. That's not terribly surprising, because Uncle Touchy's Secret Basement Wonderland more or less told us what the AFT was going to publish, and we covered that a few weeks ago. Here's the TLDR of it if you missed that episode, or if you want, go ahead and go back and watch it. They consider complete gun building kits to be readily convertible to firearms and therefore firearms on their own. They are not taking the position that all 80% receivers or even all kits are firearms. You just can't buy an 80% lower, jig, router, bits, and all the parts and tools you need to complete a firearm all in one kit. They're also requiring any FFL holder to engrave home-built firearms with a serial number when they take possession of them if they don't already have one. They are not requiring anyone to put a serial number on their own home-built gun, but I'm not sure how that would work out if you voluntarily affixed a serial number like LOL 101 to your home-built Spooky Boy before pawning it. But in any case, when an FFL holder would normally enter a firearm in their bound book, they will now have to engrave it with a serial number if it doesn't already have one. And the AFT is requiring FFL holders to retain Forms 4473 that buyers fill out when they buy a gun forever.
Forever, ever, forever, ever.
But FFL holders will be allowed to warehouse paper records older than 20 years in a facility off-site. It's generous of the AFT to allow FFL holders to incur another overhead expense. At least if there was some unfortunate document fire off-site, it wouldn't threaten any property or lives. In all seriousness, I would never publicly advocate for someone to break the law. Of course, the rule doesn't go into effect until August 24th, so if you have an FFL and you've been in business for more than 20 years, you have a couple of months to do the responsible thing and destroy every record older than 20 years while it's still legal to do so, and deny the AFT their illegal gun registry. They claim their illegal gun registry isn't an illegal gun registry simply because it's not currently searchable. But once the documents have been scanned, it's a trivial matter to run them through OCR software and import the data in a relational database. Registration leads to confiscation 100% of the time, so you have a responsibility to destroy those records while it is legal. If you do, please send the video to social@ar15.com so we can give you a little shout out in the news for being a good citizen. Because if you don't, It will be your fault when our government inevitably decides to publish a map showing all legal gun owners, like Western Australian police did a couple of months ago when they released a map of gun owners to local media.
Australia is entirely peopled with criminals.
There was enormous backlash, of course, and now Western Australian police are defending their decision by saying they de-identified the map. But I mean, you can still see the streets, right? Sure, you can't tell where these dots actually are, but how hard is it to match this up with a real map when you zoom in? Thankfully, they didn't release the map directly to the public, but multiple legacy media outlets dutifully published pearl-clutching images of the map along with sensational headlines. Now, I'm purely speculating here, but I think they probably didn't throttle down their righteous fervor enough to realize these maps also function as a map of homes which are safest to break into. And now, your moment of zen.
Ready?
Yep.
Hey friend, do you like pews and pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free $99? We literally couldn't make this show if it weren't for the generous support of TNVC.com, purveyors of the finest non-GMO night vision devices handcrafted from fine Corinthian leather in the old world style. They also have mounts, lights, training, swag, and all sorts of other free-range gear to make you the bump in the night. And remember, if you aren't subscribed to our channel, you make puppies cry and Captain America is disappointed. I love you.